We're going to run through provisioning one of the Mobility Express access points today. So once you've plugged it in and given it a couple of minutes to power on, you will be looking for the Cisco Air Provision SSID, which will come up, and we're just going to connect to that. As you can see, the password is really imaginative. It is just password. As soon as you've connected to that SSID, we're going to be able to bring up a browser and start the provisioning process. We want to open up the browser and go to 192.168.1.1. And as soon as we fire that in, it brings us straight to the simple wizard, where we need to start off by giving an admin name. Doesn't really matter what you put here, though it's always good to change it off the default of admin. It's also going to give you a clue as to the requirements for the password, and so as you start filling that in, once you've met the requirements, the exclamation point will disappear. We need to give the system a name, so we're just going to keep it nice and simple and put in the name of the leading distributor, so Comstore, but call that whatever you like. It'll generally pick up whatever the country and date and time is, but if you need to fill that in, you can. And here we're just going to give it a management IP address, so give it the management IP address that you want, but just remember what it is that you've put there. Fill in the subnet mask and the default gateway. The first thing we're going to do is configure the employee network. So give that whatever SSID you choose to and the password. And again, same as before, it'll give you a clue about the password requirements and the exclamation point will disappear. Fire that same password in twice to make sure you've got it correct. And if you need to, you can select the VLAN there. I'm just going to pop on a guest network, but I haven't bothered to set up a separate VLAN for this, and that is best practice, so we'll just pretend that we have. So we'll say new VLAN there, and we're going to give that an ID of VLAN 2. Okay, we've got the option now to optimize the RF. So if you know the client density that you are expecting, then you can select that. Otherwise we'll just go with typical, and you can also select the traffic type. So I'm just going to go with data and voice here. And we're basically done. That is the wizard complete. We click apply, and as soon as we reboot, the settings are going to be applied, and that is the provision process completed. So it's now saving the configuration. Give it a couple of minutes to reboot, and then we're going to go and have a look for the SSIDs that we created. Yep, and they seem to be there, so you can see the guest one that we set up and also the employee network. So we won't bother about the guest, we'll just go straight to the employee network, connect to that, and it's probably a good idea at this point just to make sure that we've got internet connectivity. Okay, so we've gone to a web page and that has loaded completely fine, so that looks to be all working perfectly. The next thing you might want to do is have a look at the management console. So we're going to have a look at that, and I'm just going to show you a trap for entering in this management IP. So we've put that in, and for some reason it hasn't worked. And the reason it hasn't worked is you have to remember that Cisco points you towards best practices, so we actually need to change that address to HTTPS. And as soon as we do that, that's worked fine, and now we're in. There we go, and it is as simple as that. Our access point is provisioned. If we had another access point at this point, we'd just plug it straight into the network, and it would automatically be provisioned.